I'm pooping here!
Oh, grow up, 007.
I've heard a lot of talk lately about a possible Goldeneye 007 remake being announced soon, and the awkward 14-year-old kid in me's jumping with excitement. I can't help but think fondly back to the year 1997 and, as an 8th grader, sinking many hours into the original Goldeneye on the Nintendo 64. I didn't own a Nintendo 64 myself, and there was no online multiplayer back in those days, at least not on consoles. Our spy versus spy gaming weekends required planning, organization, and sometimes even sucking up to parents. The objective? Rendezvous at a designated friendly's house with possession of a Nintendo 64, Goldeneye, and plenty of snacks to get us through the weekends. After the game released, I recall my friends and I counting the days till the weekends when, free from homework and early mornings, we could spend hours upon hours playing Goldeneye multiplayer. Little sleep could be afforded, our time was precious, and we intended to get as many matches in as we possibly could, soaking up the glory of frantically murdering one another again and again to the bangin' 007 theme. Those were the days. Little did I know that some 25 years later I'd find myself standing inside the facility itself, much less the complex, or the archives, or hell, even the temple itself, complete with sliding pillar doors and all. I found myself transported into this nostalgic wonderland by way of Pavlov VR, in the community workshop courtesy of one fine map maker by the name of Leeno. I'm not going to pretend to know how these things work. I've made some maps in my day, but nothing serious and mostly dated in comparison to methods used in newer games. My experience is mostly limited to way back when I made Duke Nukem 3D maps on PC or dabbled with Far Cry map making. I have to assume that these maps were made in the Unreal Engine using whatever Pavlov map makers used to make maps. And if that assumption is correct, then the attention to detail here is masterful. Even the hidden passages in the complex and archives are there. The maps are so spot on, in fact, that I actually wouldn't be surprised to learn that they were taken right out of Goldeneye and placed into Pavlov without any alteration. The past few days I've been booting up Pavlov for an hour or two each day and playing these maps, first starting off with just bots until other players start trickling in, and even with just bots, it's been so much fun just jumping into these classic deathmatch levels and feeling like I'm actually in these environments I remember so fondly from years past. Sure, the bots may be pretty derpy most of the time, particularly in the facility where they tend to bunch up in one of the couple different locations, and ultimately just lurk there until they meet an undesirable fate. But if we're being honest, it's really not that much different than an actual player way back when, who was new to the Nintendo 64 and giving their first shot at Goldeneye on the oh-so-cumbersome N64 controller. Speaking of controllers, let me just say how good it feels to play these maps in VR. Utilizing 360-degree visual perspectives in your own physical body to navigate these maps and frag bots or other players is such an upgraded experience from clumsily using that god-awful Nintendo 64 controller. It feels amazing to be able to peek or blind fire around corners in a pinch, or peek over the opening in the top floor of the temple while unsuspecting players run through the room below you. VR brings so much more to these maps, and if you already have Pavlov, do yourself a favor. Add this map collection if you haven't done so already. Leeno did a fantastic job, and I know I'm not alone in this sentiment.
Yeah!
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's been so much fun sharing this experience with other random players who have joined my game and hearing them enjoying the maps as well. It's impossible not to find myself having a good laugh with others or a nice chat, reminiscing over a classic game together, especially considering how chaotic these matches tend to become once a full lobby forms, considering these maps were, once designed for only up to 4 players. The archive particularly turns into an absolutely insane display of carnage and mayhem in all of the best ways, with its narrow, long corridors and sharp corners. The facility turns into a game of push where the locker room often becomes a choke point as 2 teams meet in the middle from opposing spawn corridors. The complex offers a twisting, turning labyrinth that I find serves well for a run-and-gun approach using vents and passages and the map's verticality to your advantage. Honestly, I never would have imagined how much removing the controller from the equation and placing the player into these maps changes the experience for the better. I think at this point I would genuinely prefer to just play these maps in Pavlov than to try to go back to the Nintendo 64 and playing Goldeneye on that ridiculous controller. This just feels like the superior way to experience these maps, and I'll definitely be playing them in my rotation for a long time to come. So thank you, Leeno. If you're out there somewhere, you've made a 30-something-year-old gamer smile. And I just wanted to take some time today to share these with everyone and express my appreciation for these maps even existing in the first place. I first downloaded these maps as nothing more than a nostalgia trip, assuming it would be fun to check out, but had no expectation that they would translate into VR so well, or be as much fun to play as they actually are. Needless to say, I've been pleasantly surprised. The Goldeneye maps have added even more value into a game I already consider to be one of the best VR purchases I've made, and the community workshop plays a big role in that, no doubt. Pavlov VR will no doubt continue to hold a regular spot in my VR gaming sessions, and Leeno's Goldeneye maps will certainly find themselves in my rotation for a long time to come. If you'd like to check these maps out yourself, and if you have Pavlov already, I highly recommend you do. I'll leave a link to Leeno's Steam Workshop page in the description box below. Regardless, that's all for me today. I want to thank the 314 of you who have subscribed to this channel, and everyone who takes the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate your support. It means the world to me that there's people out there that enjoy the things I love making so much. This channel means a lot to me, more than just a place to upload videos. This is a place for me to focus my creativity and escape all the negativity going on in the world around us, and if nothing else, I hope these videos at least provide that for you as well. And if I did, it'd be super cool of you to hit that like button to support the video. But regardless, I wish you all well. Until next time, you take care out there, friends. I'll see you soon.